short break there. Thank you for coming back. If you're not here yet, please come on back through and sit down. When I think about managed cloud at Rackspace, one company comes to mind that's been a big part of what we've been doing for a lot of years, VMware. VMware is a big part of managed cloud. They're also a diamond level sponsor today, so we thank them for their support. With some more on VMware, would you please help me welcome the VP of the U.S. Commercial Division at VMware, Brandon Sweeney. Brandon.
All right, good morning, everybody. Is it still morning? Good morning, everybody. All right, you can do better than that. We're at the Palace of Fine Arts. The weather's great. Hopefully you brought your running shoes, right? And I only got 20 minutes. I promise to give you time back. So let's try that again. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right, thank you. So it is a pleasure to be here. So thank you to Taylor and John for having us. And I tell you, I was very excited this morning as I got up and drove up from the city. I used to live 2 streets down the road here. Would always go for a run in the marina out to the bridge and back. It's about 2.5 miles, so I would encourage you, when you have some downtime, go for a run. It's wonderful to see the bridge in the background. So what I want to do before I start, and again, I'm going to give time back, let's do a little bit of a quick audience poll. How many of you are VMware customers today? Okay. How many of you are using other public cloud offerings today? All right, great. Okay, all right. So here's what I want to accomplish in the next few minutes. One, the first topic is that not all cloud platforms are created equal. And I'll tell you why that matters, because ultimately it puts friction in the model. And the key point is that it's all about applications. So I run the US commercial segment for VMware. What that means is it's about 100,000 customers. And so I'm privileged to talk to CIOs all the time. And the first or second discussion we have is how can we help you, by leveraging VMware technologies, drive more relevance for your organization, for IT, in the business that you're part of. And that fundamentally comes down to balance sheet and income state impact. That's all that matters, right? Balance sheet and income state impact. And the best way to do that is through applications. Applications are what drive business differentiation. So what we at VMware want to do, working with core partners like Rackspace, is make it really easy for IT to drive up its relevance by focusing on developing, extending, deploying, and managing applications, because that is, again, business differentiation. And the third point, I want to talk about Rackspace. So I've learned the term rackers. Every racker I meet has a ton of energy and a ton of passion and enthusiasm, and you got to love that. But Rackspace has been a long-term partner of VMware's for upwards of 10 years, right? Their managed cloud offerings, along with their fanatical support, are a wonderful combination of the best of VMware and the best of Rackspace to help all of you deliver those applications and make your lives easier. So those are the 3 key points. So let's jump in. All right, so let's talk about VMware. Our strategy is pretty straightforward, right? Any application in one cloud on any device. As I said before, it all comes down to the applications. They're what drive differentiation in a very competitive world that's hyper-connected, right? Hyper-connected. And so those applications come in many forms. Client-server, built in the cloud, on-prem, off-prem, all types of different platform as a service offerings. But those applications are critical. The key to delivering those applications, maintaining those applications, is the underlying infrastructure. And so on this slide, you look down the bottom, you see software-defined data center. So VMware is pretty well known for virtualizing compute, right? We've been around for 10 years, have 550,000 customers, right? Over 50 million on-prem workloads, growing every single day. Sure, off-prem workloads are growing, they're going to continue to grow, but there are all the major applications are largely on-prem, right? 50 million workloads, 500,000 customers. So we're going to take the key tenets of compute virtualization, which are pooling and abstraction, and we're going to apply those to networking, and we're going to apply those to storage. And that is what will deliver the software-defined data center. We're off to a great start. Again, we have 500,000 plus compute virtualization customers. We have thousands of network virtualization customers. You saw the acquisition we made a couple years ago, NSX, right? That's our network server virtualization offering. And then storage virtualization. We're doing great things. What was exciting for me is a couple weeks ago we had our sales kickoff, and we showed the adoption curve, the slope and the ramp of adoption of our initial ESX, which was our server virtualization platform 10 years ago, and we contrasted that with that same curve for network virtualization. And the network virtualization curve is steeper. So the software-defined data center is a key tenet for building an infrastructure that you can drive all of your applications off of. Whether that infrastructure is on-prem, whether it's a managed service, or whether it's a public cloud. So the key tenets are build your applications, deliver those to any mobile device securely, any type of content, any type of application, the top of the slide. Figure out how to do that for any application in your hybrid cloud. So we'll talk about a concept called hybridity. But that cloud, whether it's on-prem, off-prem, or again, a managed service, is where we want to evolve as we grow the company. So, now let's talk about, when we talk about how do you ultimately deliver these applications, there's a ton of interest in public cloud. My message to you for your consideration would be that all cloud platforms are not created equal. Let's just talk about some of the inconsistencies or the incompatibilities that occur that ultimately cause friction in the model. And that friction slows down delivering those applications, extending those applications, securing those applications, which again, the premise for the entire conversation is that applications are what drives business differentiation. So let's talk about rewriting existing apps. The conversations I have with customers are, it was great that IT took a credit card, swiped it, spun up a VM, started creating a new app, and then everyone in IT started doing it. The next thing you know, my bill got really big. Next thing you know, my CEO said, I need your help to de-risk the business. I have all these things in the public cloud. I got to figure out how to bring those back on-prem. Right? That conversation happens all the time. And so we fundamentally believe there's a lot of tax that occurs in having to go rewrite those applications if you want to bring some of those back on-prem, if you want to put those in a managed service. So, talk about incompatibilities. The first one being having to rewrite your apps. It's a problem. Second one is integrating your network. When you think about delivering security and isolation, when you think about trying to deliver audit, when you think to try to deliver and pass compliance tests, what your network topology looks like, how that integrates between public and private is a challenge. That delivers more friction in the model. It's another problem. It's another example of incompatibility and not all platforms being completed equal. Finding management tools. Everyone can manage a VM, but everyone does it just a little bit different. Right? When you have a multi-cloud environment, you have multiple management tools, it's a problem. How does your team figure out which tools they should focus on? What are their skill sets? Why are they spending time learning how to manage multiple management tools? Ultimately, shouldn't the orchestration be consistent across the application? Shouldn't the management be consistent across all your clouds? Anytime something is inconsistent, it drives friction, right? In a hyper-connected world, friction is a problem. And then ultimately learning new processes and skill sets. The number of customers who have invested in skills around VMware virtualization who can then use those in multiple cloud environments is significant. And we think it really is something we should take advantage of. So, hybridity is the word we use to try to bridge those gaps. Fundamentally, VMware, working closely with key partners like Rackspace, ultimately want to take away that incompatibility. We want to make sure that application, any application on one cloud, and again, that one cloud can be defined as on-prem, private, managed, or public, right? Should have the same layer of orchestration tools, should have the same layer of management tools, should have the same security profiles, should make it easy for you to drive audit and compliance. All that together is where we believe hybridity makes it easier to manage that application regardless of where that VM or application sits. So now let's talk about the vCloud Air Network, and let's talk about, well, what does compatibility, what does good, what does it get me? What does it look like? And to me, the first and foremost thing is choice. You have the option to run that application wherever you want, right? You want to run it on-prem, you want to run it off-prem. Who do you want to run it with, right? It then allows you to decide where do you want to run that application, what's best for that application. That, to me, is great value. You have choice. Second is flexibility. The different offerings that are out there from all of our managed cloud service providers, from VMware itself, right? It gives you more choice to figure out how you get best-of-breed solutions to deliver your applications. Data sovereignty, clearly a core issue thanks to Edward Snowden, right? Something everyone has to think about when you have a global footprint, when you're trying to spin up your applications globally, when you're trying to grow your business, when you're trying to go public, when you want to be single-threaded like that COO I talked about, right? He's thinking about going public. He's got tens of thousands of workloads in one public cloud. That's not a good outcome to have when you're talking to the financial analysts, right? He needs to de-risk his business. So, living in a world where those apps can run anywhere on multiple clouds, all of whom have the same underlying infrastructure and management and orchestration tools, is a very compelling business outcome. Depth and breadth, validated cloud services. Take a look at someone like Rackspace. All the things they do around leveraging VMware tools, leveraging orchestration tools from us, adding their secret sauce on top to provide that managed environment to be an extended group for you as you grow your IT teams. Think about the ISV marketplace. One of the things we have to make sure we do is always have compatible and complementary applications that are available to you through the cloud for you to wrap around your applications. So to me, what looks good around the vCloud Air Network is some of these key core attributes around choice, around flexibility, around depth and breadth of services, and again, most importantly, around choice. So let's talk about Rackspace and VMware. So Rackspace and VMware have been working together for over a decade. We have a lot of common DNA amongst some of our management team between San Antonio and Austin and here in Palo Alto, right? They run over 50,000 VMs today, 50,000 VMware VMs, right? We have common infrastructure. They have fanatical support. It's very obvious. You can just feel it when you come in the building, right? They care most about their customers and customer success. And they're a core partner for us. And as we think about how the relationship evolves, we think about not only leveraging Rackspace's infrastructure built on VMware technologies, but also leveraging our vCloud Air network globally and layering on top of that Rackspace technologies, support services, and other extended offerings. So the ability to grow with Rackspace, leveraging an underlying infrastructure from VMware, I hope is something that's very compelling to you. Certainly from the VMware side of the house, we're lucky to have done pretty well in the virtualization space on server. We're going to extend that to network and to storage. We're doing a lot of neat things around mobility, and fundamentally, it all comes down to we want to make it real simple for IT to focus on applications and nothing else. We want to handle all that underlying infrastructure for you and with you. Now, Taylor and John can do a lot better job than I can do here, but fundamentally, as you think about the relationship between VMware and Rackspace, the ability to extend the existing Rackspace relationship you have today, leveraging underlying VMware technologies that Rackspace is running for you, right, with all their complementary services. We're going to continue to extend that so that they can leverage our vCloud Air network globally. And combined, we help to bring to life that vision of any application on one cloud wherever you want, on-prem, off-prem, or a managed cloud. And then finally, and again, I told you I'd try to give you a couple minutes back. I started the conversation saying that fundamentally, it's all about the applications. Applications are what drive business value. Balance sheet and income statement impact. But the reality is, right, we all need some help on how to extend, modernize, and create those applications. And by leveraging the underlying VMware infrastructure, combined with Rackspace technologies and additional support and services, fundamentally, it allows IT, we believe, to drive more relevant impact on the things that really matter versus managing that underlying infrastructure. And it gives you the reliability, the performance, the confidence to sleep better at night as you grow your businesses. So please let us know how we can help you grow your infrastructure. Thank you very much for being here, and best of luck. Back to you, John.